Hi and welcome. I'm really glad you're here. If you've been feeling like you clean all the time but your home never actually feels clean, you're not alone. You fold the laundry, wipe down the counters, put things back where they belong, and still it looks like no one ever touched it. The mess resets faster than you do. I used to think I just needed better routines, or more energy, or one big weekend to finally catch up. But the truth, I didn't need more baskets. I needed a better rhythm. But how do we get there? How do we get back on top instead of always feeling behind? In this video, I'll share a few quiet habits that change the way I end my day and help me feel more in control, even on the messy ones. And the first one, I wish I had started it way sooner. Let me guess you keep telling yourself you'll finally declutter once you have a whole afternoon free. But that free afternoon, it never actually comes. And every day that passes, the house feels heavier. The mess grows a little, your patience shrinks a little, and the idea of decluttering just gets harder. This is where I always got stuck. I thought real decluttering needed hours, a weekend, a whole project mindset. But the truth is, the longer I waited to start big, the more I avoided starting at all. So I gave myself one rule, 15 minutes, one spot. That's it, not a whole room, not the whole closet, just a single drawer, a shelf, the top of the fridge. Set a timer and stop when it rings. No guilt, no pressure. The first time I did this, I chose the drawer near the front door that had become our family's black hole. Expired coupons, random keys, broken chargers. I threw out 80% of it. The rest finally had space to breathe. That one drawer didn't fix my house, but it fixed my energy because I wasn't waiting anymore. I was decluttering in real life the way my real schedule allowed. And that shift, it's what made every next step easier. Let's move to the next one. But quick side, there's something weirdly defeating about walking through your own home and not being able to find a single clean spot to rest your eyes. Not the counter, not the table, not even the top of your nightstand. It makes everything feel messy, even when most of it is just everyday life. That's why I started this one small habit. Choose one surface in your home that stays clear no matter what. It doesn't have to be spotless, just empty, predictable, reset. For me, it's the dining table. I used to dump the mail there. Water bottles, folded laundry, half-done craft projects. But now, it's non-negotiable. That table is my mental white space. And it helps more than I ever expected. Because even when the toys are out or dinner's still on the stove, I can sit at that table and feel calm. Like my house and my head have one quiet place to land. If you're thinking, okay, but where would I even start? Just scan the room you're in right now. Pick the surface that stresses you out most. Here's the sneakiest way clutter creeps in. You bring home something new but never let go of the old. A new hoodie goes into the closet, but the one that's faded and stretched out still hanging there. New coffee mug goes in the cabinet right next to the other 14 you never use, and before you know it, every shelf is full. Every drawer jams, and you're Googling storage solutions for things you didn't even like that much. That's when I started using the one in, one out rule. Simple, but it works. Here's how every time I buy or bring in something new, I choose one existing item to let go of. Bought a new shirt, I pull out one I haven't worn in months. New toy from Grandma Time, to donate one that's been collecting dust. Even small stuff counts, like that cute new tumbler from Target. I swap it out with the chipped one I keep ignoring. This rule works because it cuts off the overflow before it starts. You're not just organizing clutter, you're controlling the volume. And over time, it builds a kind of awareness. You stop buying just because you know everything that comes in has to replace something. It's not about being strict, it's about staying in control. And when your drawers close without force, your mornings run smoother. From here, we can go even deeper into the stuff you keep just in case. That's next. If you've ever held something in your hands and thought, but what if I need it someday? This is the trick that finally gave me peace. I used to keep boxes full of just-in-case stuff. A curling iron I hadn't used in 5 years. a broken Bluetooth speaker I might fix one day, a whole set of kitchen gadgets I didn't even like but felt guilty getting rid of because they were still good. And here's the thing, clutter loves indecision. The longer you delay the decision, the deeper it settles into your space and your mind. So I started tagging things. Literally. If I wasn't sure about an item, I'd put it in a bin or a bag and write the date on a sticky note checked, April 2025. Then I'd store it out of sight, garage, shelf, closet, corner, wherever. If 6 months passed and I hadn't reached for it once, that was my answer. It could go. This helped me bypass the guilt and the mental debate. I wasn't saying goodbye today, I was just giving future me the power to decide with more clarity and less pressure. It sounds small, but it helped me declutter things I'd been stuck on for years. And some things aren't just hard to toss, they feel impossible. Because you're not just holding an old baby outfit or a birthday card, you're holding a whole season of your life. I used to keep bins, yes, plural, of my kids' old clothes. Tiny onesies, socks the size of my thumb, even shirts that had formula stains I never bothered to wash out. Because every time I tried to declutter, I'd think, but what if I forget this? What if this is the last little reminder of who they were? And that's what makes sentimental clutter different. It's not about usefulness, it's about fear of forgetting. So here's the shift that helped me let go. You don't need the object to keep the memory, you just need something small to help you remember it. I started taking photos. One picture of the outfit, the drawing, the handmade card. Then I let the thing go. If it was extra special, I wrote one sentence about why I loved it. I even made a tiny folder. Here's the truth no one tells you. Your kids aren't overwhelmed because they don't have enough to play with. They're overwhelmed because there's too much. I learned this the hard way. My living room looked like a daycare, exploded every bin, overflowing random plastic parts everywhere, and yet my kids would still say I'm bored. That's when I realized they weren't bored. They were overstimulated, and honestly, so was I. So I tried something simple. I took 70% of their toys and put them away. Not forever, just out of sight. Then every couple of weeks, I'd rotate a few old toys back in like they were new again. It worked. Not only did they play longer with less, but they were calmer. I was calmer. There was less to clean up, fewer arguments about mess, and best of all, they noticed and appreciated their toys more. But here's the second part that really made it stick. I started letting them choose what to keep out and what to pack away. Even toddlers can understand. Let's pick 5 things you really want to play with this week. It became a small moment of control for them, and a big shift in how we handled clutter together. This isn't about being minimalist. It's about giving your kids the gift of clarity, not chaos, and giving yourself a floor that you can actually vacuum without stepping on a Lego minefield. Next, let's zoom out a bit from toy clutter to shared responsibility. Because when you're the only one managing the mess, that clutter isn't just physical, it's emotional. And it's time we change that too. If it feels like you're the only one who notices the mess, the only one cleaning up after everyone else, you're not imagining it, you're just burnt out. And I say this with love, it's not because your partner or kids don't care, it's because the system has quietly made it your job. That's why I stopped trying to do it all myself and started treating decluttering like a family rhythm. Not a one-time purge, not a mom's project, just something we all do once a month like laundry or meal prep. We call it Tidy Day, nothing fancy, just a Saturday morning with music on and one shared mission, pick a zone and reset it together. One month it was the pantry, another time it was the trunk of the car. Sometimes it's just the junk drawer and the kids' shoes. We make it short, under 45 minutes, and we always end with donuts. Yes, on purpose, because habits stick when they're not miserable. And the best part, my kids now notice when clutter builds up. They'll say, "Mom, the hallway basket's full. Can we go through it this weekend?" That never used to happen. You don't need a perfectly cooperative family. You just need to create one small ritual they can expect. Decluttering isn't your responsibility alone. It's the house's rhythm. Let it belong to everyone who lives there. And now that you're not doing this all alone, Have you ever bought something online only to forget you even ordered it by the time it arrived? That's not just forgetfulness, that's clutter being created in real time. Most of us don't shop because we need something right now. We shop because it's on sale, because we had a rough day, or just because scrolling through Target or Amazon makes us feel a little better for a moment. But here's what no cart tells you. Every "maybe I'll use this" turns into another item you have to store, clean, step over, or feel guilty about. So here's the shift. Only buy when the need shows up in your real life, not just in your browser. Next time you catch yourself adding something to cart, don't check out right away. Instead, set a 48-hour timer. If in 2 days you still actively need that item, not just want it, then buy it. Otherwise, let it go. I do this even for small things now, like containers or seasonal decor. It's helped me catch impulse buys before they become drawer fillers. And surprisingly, 80% of the time, I forget about the item altogether. That's clutter I never even brought home. Coming up next, I'll share why decluttering doesn't need to be one big dramatic purge, and how doing it in gentle rounds actually works better. Feeling overwhelmed the moment you look at that messy corner? That's not a sign you're lazy. It's your brain protecting you from burnout. The truth is, you don't have to declutter everything in one go. One of the most freeing things I learned was to go over the same spot multiple times in layers. The first round is just to loosen up, toss out the obvious trash stuff that's broken, expired, or you never liked. No guilt, no big decisions. A few days later, come back to that same spot. Now that it's less chaotic, your brain is calmer, and you'll start noticing things you didn't really need but couldn't part with earlier. I did this recently with my kitchen drawer. First pass, I tossed broken chopsticks, bent straws, and mystery lids. Second pass, I let go of tools I had duplicates of. By the third round, I realized I hadn't used that garlic press in 3 years. Decluttering in waves makes it feel lighter mentally and emotionally. You're not forcing yourself to be ruthless all at once. You're just peeling back the layers. I remember spending an entire afternoon organizing my kitchen drawer. I bought dividers labeled everything lined up, all the tools neatly. And yet a few days later, it was a mess again. Why? Because I was organizing things I didn't even like or use. There was a vegetable peeler I hadn't touched in years, a rusty ice scoop, 5 bottle openers when I only ever used one. That's when I learned to pause and ask myself one question before organizing anything. If I lost this today, would I actually replace it? If the answer is no, I don't organize it. I let it go. Now, before I open a drawer or start a project, I scan for items I don't even want. No baskets, no systems, just permission to release what's already expired in my life. This one mindset shift saved me hours. And more importantly, it made my space easier to keep tidy because it only holds what I actually use. Some days, no matter how hard you try, the clutter still wins. You're tired, your brain is full, and even the simple act of putting one thing away feels like too much. I used to feel so guilty on those days, like I was falling behind, like the mess meant I wasn't trying hard enough. But here's what helped. I gave myself a soft place to land. Not a perfect system, not a strict rule, just one simple basket, a quiet spot where things could go when I didn't have the energy to deal with them right away. I call it my grace basket. It sits in a corner of the room, and throughout the day, if I find something I should put away, but I just can't in that moment, I place it there. No guilt, no pressure. Then when I feel a little more grounded, maybe later that night, maybe tomorrow, I'll take a few minutes to reset it. It's a small act of kindness toward myself. A reminder that I don't have to get it all right all at once. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can declutter is the pressure to be perfect. These are the 9 ways we've been able to keep our home organized, not through massive overhauls or perfect routines, but through small, realistic habits that actually stick. You don't need to change everything overnight. Even one small shift, one habit that lightens your load, is enough to make a real difference. And if it helps you breathe easier, that's already a win. If this kind of content speaks to you, the next video will go even deeper. We're zooming in on one of the messiest spots in every home and how to organize it in a way that finally lasts. Let me know in the comments if something here hit home for you. And if this video was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so I know what's truly useful, because you deserve a home that feels calm, clear, and completely yours.